you doing?
Oh, hi, Fred. How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Working in your garden today, huh?
yeah, it's going real well.
Hmm.
Well, sunshine's going to come right along.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it sure is.
We got plenty of rain, you know that.
Yeah.
The peas and onions, potatoes are doing great.
Uh-huh.
It's a good place to garden.
I just woke up just a little while ago.
Sounds like you need a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, there sure has been a lot of coffee bars around here, you know, up in the St. John's area.
They're springing up like weeds
Wow.
everywhere.
Like, but, you know, you're trying to weed them out and all that sort of stuff here.
Well, some people like them, some people don't like them. You know, it's a controversy. Do we want to have these things come in our neighborhood, or do we want to keep it like it was, you know, just ordinary working class neighborhood, or do we want yuppies in here?
Can you tell me how long have you lived in the area?
About 18 years.
And what brought you here?
My mama.
She decided to do
She
coffee?
loves Oregon. We were from Kansas, and she just loved Oregon. So do I, so stayed.
What have you seen change in the area that your coffee bar is in?
Well, that we got Starbucks coming up. We got Mocha on the go down there, and now even the theater sells it. So this one here is just out, makes it easy for people to pull up to, and they don't have to get out. All they need to do is tell me what they want. It makes a difference if you're out there, and I don't know, it's just a fun job. Meet a lot of people.
You get a feel for the kind of people that come by. You know, have they changed much since the 18 years you've been here?
Oh yeah, we didn't ever used to have this kind of stuff. Now we do, and now it's everywhere, and they love it.
Hi.
You were at the coffee shop here?
That's right. I own Lionhearted.
Ah, you've been here a while.
About a month.
How did you get into it?
Into,
Coffee shops. How did you happen to start up a coffee shop?
well, after 17 years of social work, I decided to try something else, and I've been drinking coffee all my life. Just seemed natural.
Why coffee? It seems like there are maybe a few other coffee shops in town. Why did you decide to do coffee?
I like to drink coffee.
Yeah, but I mean competition.
There's no competition with coffee. The more coffee places that there are, the more people are educated about espresso, lattes, cappuccinos, and things like that. I use a special blend nobody else does. That's a Kona mixed with the espresso.
Does what is that? Starbucks. Do they affect anything in town, your business or the town's business?
In general, I think Starbucks, all that they would do is bring in more people, educate the populace about coffee. They don't have what I have. I don't have what they have. In fact, they invited us all over for their opening.
With the coffee shops coming in, sometimes it's a different kind of people.
Pretty good.
Does it?
We don't know. It's only been open since Saturday.
That's what I wondered. But what are your thoughts about it? What are you
That's
watching
great.
for?
It's great. It won't affect us none, I'm sure. It's something for the people. No.
The kind of people that would go to Starbucks, you think are here, or do you think it would bring in different people?
They're here, and we'll probably bring in people as they come down across the St. John's Bridge and make their turn. They're right on the corner. Also, the lady that has the espresso on the island down here on Lombard. She does a very good business also.
Already.
Already.
She's been there how long, you think?
I think she's been there about a year and a half. Maybe 3 years. Time passes.
Another espresso partner, too.
Yeah. So are you concerned at all that all the new businesses coming in will change the...
It can only help. They can only help.
What do you mean by that?
It'll help the whole area. We all benefit. And I'm happy to see it. A lot of nice new people. A lot of nice new people.
Where do you think they're coming from?
California.
For the last 10 years that I've been in Portland, St. John's been one of my favorite places to associate with friends. It's a very quiet area, and I see that there's a lot of progress in Portland, and St. John's has been one of them. I've been, to myself, I see a vision in the area, like the places were closed, maybe 3 more years, it will be back open. I believe that will happen for the reason that people see the community together, and I see a lot of closeness to the people in here for the last 10 years, like I say, and the separation not being for the reason of the people, you know, for the economic situation. But the situation, like I said, the economy becoming higher again, and I believe that this is an area where business will grow.
So we're off to see your chickens here.
Yeah, chickens are pretty easy to keep. They don't cause you much trouble in eating drink. They like to sleep in the tree at night now. They discovered they can climb up there and sleep. Hi, chickens.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah. Got 2 different kinds there.
Well, I hope we don't lose all these small town values of, you know, with the gentrification of St. John's here.
Yeah, it's nice when people can have different things going on at their homes aside from, you know, just a house that you sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to have your hobby or your other activities right where you are.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go to the Y or the club. You can just do it right here at home. That way your kids can do it too.
Right, right. You know, I just had a hard day at work, and earlier you said, you know, you'd invite me in for coffee or something?
Yes, you ready for some?
Yeah, sure, I'd like to have a cup of coffee.
Okay.
I'm just visiting with my friend Betsy. We were going to talk about some of the changes that I've observed in the last couple of years since I've lived here. To me, I think it's kind of like the gentrification of the working class St. John's area. And, you know, Starbucks has moved in. I've seen what has happened to what used to be Thriftway, which is now Kino's. And it seems to me the working class people don't seem to have a voice in you know, what goes on. You know, Payless came in, and an old drugstore went out. And, you know, now we have all these coffee bars in here. And it's getting to look like Northwest. But really, I don't know if it ever will be Northwest. And so Betsy and I are going to have a chat over some fresh brewed coffee this morning. When I came here, it was a small little coffee shop where you had, you know, the donuts that I remember from 20, 30 years ago, and coffee prices at a dime. You know, something that I can afford.
Yeah.
And now I see Starbucks entering, and it's turning like what it's like, you know, across the river, Northwest. And so you're telling me that you don't feel it'll ever be like Northwest Portland.
Well, when I came here, what I saw, especially like right next, the next 2 houses to me, where they were selling drugs, and heavy-duty selling drugs, and people were passing out in the street, and there was needles all around and stuff. So for me, the justification of having on my street when those 2 houses got sold, that was great, because I felt a lot better about my kids being here and stuff.
Well, there used to be a lot of, you know, 60s and drugs activity in Northwest before they, you know, raised their rent.
That's true. I see it as a gentler kind of drug. I don't know, marijuana to me is different than crank and crack. Maybe I'm not up in the new drugs, but...
Well, we're just up for some coffee right now, which is still a drug.
Which is a drug, yeah. It's a lower price drug, though.
Okay, well, I'll let you prepare your coffee.
Right here, it's all poured. Come to me.
Okay. You know, it's interesting that we're talking about what we work and what's happening to our neighborhood. And what do you think the neighborhood thinks about Starbucks? What do you think Dad's Restaurant? It's been in business now ever since the turn of the century.
Dad's Tavern, Dad's Bar.
Dad's Bar, family restaurant, famous. It's a gathering place for locals, right?
Right. There's like about 15 bars on the main street there. You can go from one to the other. But Dad's is like the biggest, oldest one. And right across the street from Dad's is where Starbucks is going in. So it's kind of fun. I was talking to a neighbor. She thought it was really funny. It's just like the AAs across from the street from the taverns too. It's such a diversity of cultural lifestyles. I don't know. Some people don't like it coming in there. Starbucks coming in. They think it's going to be too snooty for our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Some people like it. Myself, I like their coffee.
Yeah.
I can't always afford.
What are we
I
drinking
do.
today? Maxwell House? Or fold your cup.
Safeway.
Safeway.
Yeah.
It tastes pretty good in me.
Safeway espresso.
I mean, I'll drink it. I mean, I used to have coffee with cremora and sugar, and and used to spend a dime for it. Or matter of fact, I'd try to get it for free for at a tire shop
or at least
auto parts.
a
refill, right?
Refill, yeah.
But now it's going to be $2, $3.
Yeah, you better savor it. Drink it real slow.
But isn't coffee grown off the backs of the poor?
Yeah.
Guatemala?
How much are
Costa
they making
Rica,
off that
huh?
$2 cup of coffee?
Yeah, and what about the people? I remember the coffee brigade from some political group, PCUN, I don't know what it was, but they were trying to get people to go down and kind of support the coffee people, workers, and get some experience picking coffee, and it's kind of like all the other stuff that goes in third world, South America, Mexico, NAFTA, GATT, all these treaties that, I've lost a lot of jobs to Mexico. I've lost a, well, I was working at this one job. We're building auto parts type repair things, like valve grinding machines and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I was working there for a month, and they laid me off, and then next week I found out that they closed the whole plant down and shipped it to Mexico.
Was that before and after?
That was before NAFTA. That was actually 8 years ago. I found it interesting, a coffee stand next to a real estate office, and I was wondering how they had this in St. John's.
How does it happen that you have coffee?
At a real estate?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not really sure. It's just my boss wanted to go and try it because it's a really good corner and it's not being too bad.
When you say you've seen the difference in the people change over the years since you've been able to talk to people as they go by, what's changed? How have they changed?
Well, it's really growing up here really super fast. They switched from the Thriftway to Keno's, and now they got the new Video Land coming in down there. And like I said, or my boss was saying, that they're making a deli back here, so it's really grown rapidly just within just this one last year. It's just basically everything just started popping up. I mean, it's like a lot more people or something are right here in St. John's.
Where do you think they're coming from?
Probably California.
We went through kind of a low period where several of the storefronts were empty, and now they're all filling back up. It's real hard to find a spot to start a business in, and we're getting some big name businesses in the area too.
What a period of time did they start to change back? You see they were empty for a long time.
We've seen it the last 1.5 to 2 years, a real consistent growth period here.
Why do you think it happened like that? Why then, and why is it still growing?
I think North Portland has one of the lowest housing rates to purchase, and I think more and more people are finding that out and moving into the area, and the big businessmen saw that ahead of the general population and are prepared for that, and as a result of it, we see the area increasing in population and business.
Do you think the change from renters to home buyers happened before the businesses changed?
There was some, but not at the rate that it's growing now.
You think that the businesses changed their perspective of more business coming into the community before the change in housing?
Yes, I think that we used to be considered somewhat of a transient area, and I think now they're realizing that there's a lot of permanent residents here, and that number is increasing all the time.
Now, when you say it's better for the area, is that mainly for the businesses, or does it bring a different community to the area?
A little bit of both. We have a large elderly clientele down in the St. John's area, and this has made it a lot more convenient for them. A lot of them walk or go by bus, and having these businesses down here has allowed them to remain in their own neighborhood. It's also brought a lot of the new younger families in, and they're starting to notice the warmth of the community spirit and the camaraderie and getting caught up in that. And we're finding people that moved away that are now coming back.
When they moved away, were they renters or owners, do you think?
They were owners, and they've sold and are coming back to the North Portland area.
Well, what's happening here in the continuing saga of that cup of coffee in St. John's? I went to Starbucks for a comment or two. They politely refused. I asked if I could videotape my first cup of coffee here. They told me that Starbucks is corporate and there is too much red tape. I was told a movie will be filmed here and only they have that right. They will spend a whole day filming inside, and Starbucks personnel seemed more concerned about their image and protective of it. Their logo is protected, so I couldn't take a shot of it either. Maybe this shows what big business does to small communities. They stifle the locals and they do what they want to do. As you can see, the local businesses were all too eager to talk to me and let me video them as they are. But Starbucks signals to me the moving in and taking over by people outside the communities. But anyway, let's move on to another issue here. Let's talk about the trucks, transportation problems, and the trucks going through the St. John's business area and all the trucks, noise, and dust that happens. Let's take a look.
I'm thinking about St. John's that I think it's still bad is the traffic, especially the trucks. There's like one every second coming off the bridge. It's a caravan. And they head right through town. And you know the exhaust that's coming out when they wait for the light. You know, you can't see it, but you know it's all there. And it's a lot of trucks, a lot of them.
Yeah, you have a couple neighbors that are part of the neighborhood committee working on traffic control in St. John's?
Yeah, Dave and Lori, and they had a real good idea for rerouting the trucks. They would come off the bridge and head back and down under it instead of going off the bridge and turning left and going through town. And it would mean opening up a gate over there on the Rivergate area, a fence. Rivergate area, let them go through, and they'd be directly out into where they're going anyway. And it sounds better for the trucks and better for us.
I know I was walking around this morning, and everywhere I went in the downtown area of St. John's, it was trucks. You know, even in the side streets.
Yeah, I know it. And they're just all trying to get around each other too. They come down this hill a lot of times, and they've hit a couple of cars, totaled them out on the hill, and sometimes they get halfway up and their brakes do something, they fail and they get stuck halfway up. They have to back all the way back down. I don't know, it's not easy for the truckers either, but it's sort of like a truck circus around here. All kinds of trucks from all over the country too. You know, they come in here not knowing where they're going.
Yeah, and we have to work with the trucks, but we also have to live with the trucks too, because I work in heavy industry and now I live in the neighborhood of heavy industry.
We're not talking about all the trucks that go over the bridge and service all the port facilities. We're just talking about the trucks that serve these industries down here.
Yeah, we understand that.
And based on our survey of how much they're using, the only one that's really heavy is the Lampros. And getting them to do it is probably unlikely because they're way down that way.
Well, I think that this map really illustrates to folks, everybody living up here, and then the business district which starts over here. They're being impacted by trucks servicing this area and also trucks that do come down this way. And if you look here, you see all the turns and all the difficult maneuvering through totally residential areas.
This is Lombard.
Right. And I mean, ideally, and I know that there's a lot of problems related to this, but I mean, it was identified a long time ago of a need to do some improvements. I know you've got a new road plan for here, but
if it's
potential road. But I mean, ideally, if there were some transportation system that was able to service this area where the trucks come out this way and the majority head back out Columbia Marine Drive and service the industrial areas this way rather than constantly impacting the neighborhood.
Right. Come on. It won't fall on you from there. We're here.
See the dark spots? Up there for a minute, let your eyes get accustomed to it. You'll see that's rebar up in those dark. That's the sidewalk outside of that beam. We think, I don't know what we've done. We think what happens is the trucks hit that bridge and they cantilever and flap that sidewalk, and that's why there's a lot more falling off the sidewalk. It's thinner too. There are places where it's fallen off the main roadway, but mainly it's the sidewalk. And there are places, I don't see any right now, but there's places where you can see daylight through the sidewalk. There's just concrete all over the place.
Good from the outside, it's wired. But you can always.
And David, tell us who you're with, where you're from, and why you're here.
I'm with the Cathedral Park Neighborhood Association, and I live in the neighborhood under the St. John's Bridge. It's basically Cathedral Park. And I'm here to answer what questions you have about traffic, truck traffic in St. John's and Cathedral Park.
Well, I've been hearing a lot about this incinerator, and I think there's probably a lot of different aspects to it that we want to look at. And you can talk about truck traffic around the St. John's area. Tell us about what you know. How is the traffic now? How has it gotten worse or improved in the past several years, and what do you see in the future?
Well, it's already pretty unbearable. A person counted 197 trucks in an hour going by Burgerville at the foot of the St. John's Bridge at 10 o'clock one morning.
How does that compare? Do they compare it with other parts of Portland?
I don't know. But it's anybody that lives here or even observes the truck traffic coming through this neighborhood is pretty impressed that it's outrageous. And what's happening is it's over the last couple of years it's really increased a lot, and that's because real estate prices are moving up to where the Rivergate industrial land out there around Kelly Point is becoming competitive, and so there's more and more development out there, and it's all industrial and warehouse, and it's bringing much more traffic. But when you look at that land, only about 25% of it, if that, is developed now. So the future
The future is more trucks.
Yeah.
What reaction are you getting from the people in St. John's about the increased trucking?
Everybody's upset about it. It has all kinds of impacts on the community. And one thing is tearing up the bridge.
What about all that dust? Someone brought up dust during the last interview. How does the trucking affect the amount of dust in the air?
Well, trucks going by have dirt on them. They vibrate everything, and it just during the summertime when it's when it's dry, it just dust. The whole neighborhood's dusty all the time.
What about the noise level?
It's bad, and particularly because the bridge is up there above a lot of the neighborhood. And there's no rule against Jake brakes, and these guys like to sound like big truckers. You hear this running down as they coast down toward the community coming off the bridge.
So we have excessive noise pollution.
Right. And then there's lights right in the community, in the residential and commercial part of the community where they stop. and they have to stop for the light, and then they start up and run through their gears, and it's really noisy. It's also vibration is, one person that works on our committee has got cracks in her foundation that weren't there a couple years ago.
My name's Bonita Adlin. I'm with the St. John's Neighborhood Association. I've worked with the traffic committee, and today's drive-through, I don't know if anything was really accomplished with that. I'm hoping that it did open a few girl cats' eyes, but I really don't know.
Okay. And your name is?
Leora Mahoney. I'm the chairperson of the St. John's Neighborhood Association, and I agree with Bonita. Hopefully we did open some eyes, but they're saying the same thing over and over again, to be honest with you. That's it.
So that's the future.
We've grown up. I've grown up with this, and I'll probably die with this problem. So that's it.
So okay, thank you.
Thank you.